I'm just gonna start by I love that about today's podcast.
It's a groove today.
Folks, welcome to the SGO Press Pass. I don't know your intro. I thought I would know it better than this. This is what we get for like going 1 week without it. You know what I mean? Here, I'll give it a shot.
Do it. Let's go.
Hold on. I don't have a good sports gamers intro. That's always been the problem, right?
You could steal mine for this. I'm okay with it.
Yours is how's it going, sports gamers? How's it going, sports gamers? You are tuned in to the one, the only, the 12th episode of the SGO Press Pass. My name is Jake Jacobson. I'm the senior writer at SGO. Joined today is the managing editor, Mike Straw. Mike, how's it going today?
I'm in a good mood. I'm back after a week and a half away because of, my appendix decided to go haywire, and they're like, we got to take that out of you. I'm just in a great mood. I'm happy to talk to you. I love the jacket. How did I just not notice? You must have just put it on.
Before the last time.
And we already know this is going to be a good show because right off the bat.
I've gotten that a lot, so I'm not surprised to hear that.
Today is a good day, guys.
Fans of the show will have noticed that we did not put on a show last week. Two things happened. One, which is significantly less severe. I moved. I live in a different state now. Everything behind the windows behind me still the same. Didn't learn that lesson. Everything else is new. And I did that move last weekend, so I was very tired in the middle of the week. Slightly more severe is that Mr. Mike Straw's appendix exploded and they had to take it out of him. So
yeah, that was fun.
A lot of
times.
So a lot of laying low, a lot of recovery and an exploration last week. But now we're back and
again. Guess who's back
again?
Tell a friend.
And we have, I don't think this is something we say a lot during these shows, but we've got a big show today.
We've never said that, especially me. I have never once said that.
Somebody in the chat adopted 2 cats this week, which rules.
See, I'm not a cat person. To be honest, I think cats are Satan spawns. But if you love cats, you love cats. That's a you thing. I'm happy. My big thing is I hear the word I adopted 2 cats, and that makes me happy because I'm not a fan of breeders. But I don't want to get into these types.
Adopted is good. Mike, before we jump into a little NCAA football retrospective, before we jump into some news about EA Play coming up next week, before we jump into all of today's announcements about NBA 2K22, what have you been playing lately? Have you had a lot of time in your recovery to play more games?
I've had more time than ever. That's the one benefit. So, before we get into that, reminder, this show is brought to you by SGO Insider, your premium subscription service for sports gamers online. We give you exclusive news, tips, guides, stories you won't find anywhere else. Some stuff that involve the future of the Madden franchise, that involve the future of the NBA 2K franchise, and more. All go on in our SGO Insider exclusive chat on our Discord, which you can also join at sportsgamersonline.com/Discord. That's open to everybody. And sportsgamersonline.com/insider. For as low as $5 a month, you can get insight everywhere. And we're going to be overhauling our benefits to give you guys even more reasons to subscribe. And I'm super excited for this, what we're working on. And I can't wait to announce more in the next, I think August 1st is when the new benefits are going to go in. And I'm pretty stoked. We've been working with our social media manager on it and D'Angelo, and it's going to be good stuff. Guys, if you want to guarantee your question be asked and answered on the air tonight, leave us a super chat, no matter how much, how little. We will get to it as long as it's not vulgar filled. If you want to praise me and my Brillo pad head, go for it. If you want to say my beard's coming in nice or Jake's facial hair is coming in nice, or if you want to compliment that jacket, because no lie, I'm actually jealous of that jacket and I would wear that in public.
Yeah, it's the if you work in secondhand retail long enough, you get all kinds of stuff like this.
Yes. So what have I been playing? It's been nothing but two or three games. I have had a lot more time to play Formula One. F1 2021, our review went live on Monday. Go check it out at sportsgamersonline.com. Once again, is in the running for game of the year. It will be. I gave it a 10 out of 10 game. Like it's fantastic. Our video review will be going up this weekend, I believe. Had some corruption on the files, which made me just lose it. But that game's just, it's so good. Even if you're not a fan of it, it is just incredible. I've also been playing. While I was laid up in the hospital bed, I went through 10 pounds of gold with every single wrestler in Retromania.
I guess you got
every single one, and I made it. And on a first run, without having to repeat, I won it with 6 of them, without losing a match, which was nice. We do have questions about Formula One. We'll get to that right now. Where's the EA Play trial? I don't know why they didn't decide to do it. I did reach out to EA. I'm waiting on a response on that. We'll have that on sportsgamersonline.com as soon as I get something.
Well, do you think that they're going to, because for F1 2020, they waited, what was it, 4 months, 6 months after the game came out to drop a free trial? You don't think they do that again, do you?
I don't know, because of the EA publishing thing. I don't know what they got planned.
Oh, yeah.
That's the weird thing with this.
Super good point, yeah.
But Jake, that's what I've been playing. A lot of Formula One. What about you?
Not so much.
I know you've been moving. You've been getting things ready.
Yeah, I've not been playing a lot of games because I've been doing a lot of traveling. I have booted up Minecraft recently, which I've been playing again. Not much of a sports game, but sometimes I just really want to play Minecraft.
You know what I did pick up today?
Minecraft?
No, I have been playing Minecraft too, but I haven't played it over the past week.
The LeBron James Fortnite skin
and the GOAT debate. You got a lot of hate for that, and I love it.
I was reading one of the comments. I've never gotten comments on articles I've written for the website because they've just been news articles and nobody comments on that stuff, right? But one of the comments was like, I disagree, but I'm glad we can have fun. And I was like, oh, wow, isn't that great? Isn't that the right way to say it? Sorry, what did you get?
Got GolfTopia. I decided to make the plunge and pick it up after our writer Drew Johnson mentioned it.
Today, earlier today?
Yeah. It had been in my wish list for a while. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I'm going to play it this weekend. It's all because it is the spiritual successor to the legendary Sid Meier's Sim Golf.
So we brought in a writer who used to write for the website,
and he has no idea about the meme.
Presumably unprompted, compared GolfTopia to Sim Golf. Like, there's no way he knows, but it worked too. Look at that; he instantly bought it. But yeah, I've been playing Minecraft. I actually have been playing a little bit of Madden 21 lately. Not like in the way you would think. I've got a couple of ideas for dumb articles I want to write, so I installed.
No article is dumb.
But yeah,
usually the dumb ones are the ones that get the most interaction. They're the most fun.
Yeah, so I've booted up Madden 21 just to have it on the computer a little bit recently, but I haven't really messed around with it too much.
Christian knows all about it. He knows all about the Sim Golf at this point. Sim Golf and a rant. That's what you can expect every week from this show.
Every week.
Every week.
That's a paid guarantee.
And I mean, if you want to pay for it too, leave us a super chat and I'll say whatever you want.
Don't.
As long as it's not vulgar.
Within reason.
Yeah, within reason. If you go
I'm gonna hand the reins back over to you for this one. I've already missed the shills, so I don't know. The intro is as far as I can get right now. You give me a couple more months, and I think I can lead this. I can steer this ship, but right now I don't think I'm ready. So
Well, before we get into the main topic, which is NCAA football, let's talk about NBA 2K22. That was revealed today. We had the cover announcement, which we all knew was going to be Luka Doncic, and we all knew the legendary edition, the 75th anniversary edition is what they're calling it, was going to feature Dirk Nowitzki, but it also has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and it has Kevin Durant. We also got a nice surprise with Candace Parker being the first woman ever to grace the cover of the NBA 2K series, and she's one of the best basketball players you will ever watch play on a court. If you've never watched her play, please watch her play. She's incredible. The WNBA deserves your love, but there's not all things are rosy with the in 2K land, and I've covered this on with FIFA. I've covered this with Madden, but once again, this time 2K decides they did one thing good. There is cross-gen carryovers. All right. So you can carry over my team and stuff from last gen to current if you buy both games, but you need to get it for free. You need to get the dual entitlement version of the game. Otherwise, you're buying it twice. You know how with FIFA, you got to buy it twice. But there's no crossplay, and we'll touch on that in a minute too. But the first thing is, like EA Sports with FIFA and Madden, PC players are getting the shaft with no next-gen version on the console, despite PCs, on average, the average PC being just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the Series X and PlayStation 5. Jake, before I go on my rant, because this is where it's coming, and it's coming early, what do you think about it?
It's dumb. It's dumb, and it makes me wonder... I just don't understand why. I don't understand why they're not putting in the effort to make the computer version the next gen version. The only thing I could think of is that presumably the PC version for all of these games is just not the main version. It's probably not where they see the most buy-in. It's probably not where they see the most money. It's probably not where they see the most microtransaction stuff, I guess. I can't think of another reason why they would just act like the PC version is a side version. Like, my PC runs, one, you're missing a whole audience by giving them a worse version of the game. Like, I don't have any of the next gen consoles because they are incredibly difficult to get your hands on. But I have a very nice PC that could probably run whatever advanced, physics engine. I don't even know. I don't think there's anything that this PC I have right now, which is not even a top of the line PC, couldn't run. Especially considering all of these next gen versus last gen comparisons don't seem to be about how the game runs. It's like entire sets of features, entire feature sets they're just not bringing over to PC. So it's not even like they're worried that it can't run on PC hardware. It's just like they're just not bringing over some of the cooler stuff. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And I am wondering if modes like the W will be brought over. 2K is saying they're looking at it for the future of the franchise, but right now it's on par with what you get on the Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. I will give it to them at least they're not shilling or scamming players like EA is with FIFA Legacy Edition on the Switch, which has been the same game for the last 3 years, where IGN has put literally copy and pasted the same review the last 3 years of FIFA Legacy for the Switch, and it's hilarious. They don't even change it anymore. They just copy and paste the same thing and give it a lower score each year, because that's what it deserves. I hate it. I hate it. My computer's 4 years old, and it's still better than an Xbox Series X and a PS5. Now, I have a PS5. I love a PS5, my PS5. But my computer's still better than it. And it bothers me that, and they'll say all these things like EA says, well, we're working on making sure the console version's optimized and all that. I'm not buying that for a second. That might be part of it, but that's not the whole reason. It's the modding community is the big reason. And you can't convince me otherwise. The modding community makes the game look better, play better, and feel better on PC. So as a way to get back to the modding community, my view is they'll just keep features from it. And it's like, all right, you can make it look better and add this stuff, but we're not going to give you the features. We're not going to give you the W mode. We're not going to give you next gen stats for Madden. We're not going to give you whatever new gameplay features they have for next gen on NBA 2K22, which they haven't announced yet. we're not going to give you all that. Go ahead and mod it and see how you enjoy it. And I feel like this is just the developers and studios getting back at the modding community, which I hope isn't the case. But with more and more games coming to PC, now they're going to pick their argument. Well, the old argument was, well, it's to combat piracy. Now they're going to, the battle, I think, is going to be against the modders.
That's just such a weird. I mean, like, maybe. I don't think this
I
is
hope
like
I'm wrong, but I got nowhere else to go on that. It's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know. It just seems weird. I agree that for the most part, because you can mod those games and you know, like, especially Madden very much has, you know, they've modded an entire hundreds of college things into it.
Yeah.
And it looks great, and it probably, you know, it's just like, I don't understand why. The only reason I could think that PC wouldn't be the focus is because they still want people who buy the game on console to feel like it's a console game. Like, I think obviously, like, you can mod those games to make up for some of those lack of features, but like, I feel like they've got some weird attachment to, like, NBA 2K is a console game, so we don't want to incentivize people to buy it on PC. But even then, like, I don't know. It's just such a weird decision. I wonder, because we know that there's a split in the actual gameplay between last gen and current. Well, I guess, yeah, now it would be last gen, between Xbox One and Xbox Series X versions for 2021 or 2K21.
Yeah.
I wonder if that split stays for 22. Like, I wonder if that whole entire new, like, physics engine and like passing and dribbling system and stuff that they talked about for next gen 2K21, I wonder if that stays next gen in 2K22, and if last gen versions of 2K22 keep not getting those like physics upgrades, because that seems super relevant if they keep moving in that direction. That seems like a big deal.
A huge deal. And I personally think that's what they do too. I don't like, because as soon as you bring over those, then you're talking about the next gen version of the game in my mind. So what can you really do at this point for the last gen? You're not going to make gameplay improvements really to the last gen version of these games. Maybe it's the modes you bring over, like some of the modes, like things that debuted last year might come over, or it'll always be a year behind. This comes to my problem where, and I bring this up every week, when a new gen comes out, I don't care how scarce the consoles are. I don't. Leave the old gen behind. PC should never be classified as last gen. PC is always ahead of the current gen.
I agree with you. And when they announced that Madden 22 had dual entitlement, part of me was like, why are they doing that? But then I remembered I've not been able to buy a next gen console for literally a year. So, like,
no, I got lucky. I was unemployed.
You know what I mean?
when I was able to scoop mine.
I think it's a good thing that they keep doing dual entitlement. I think it's a good thing that they keep doing, at least until, like, I think if 2K23 comes out with dual entitlement, something's gone wrong in the process.
But that's the problem with dual entitlement. Gary Schaefer kind of brought up, it leans into this. He says, so we need a $100 edition to play MUT now. You don't need it to play MUT, but you need it to get that dual entitlement at this point. You have to get the highest level to get that dual entitlement, whether it's FIFA, Madden, or FIFA or NBA 2K. And it bothers me, like, that you have to do that. If I buy a game and then I get the console, I shouldn't have to buy it twice. If you're gonna keep features away from me, I should not have to spend $60 on this game. If I'm going to have to buy the game a second time, you better give me a discount on the upgrade. So if I have it on PS4 and you're not giving me the dual entitlement, and I spend $60 on it or $70 or whatever, then the next gen version better cost on the standard edition. Then if I go and buy the standard edition on the next console, I better get an upgrade for $20, $30. I shouldn't have to spend full price twice. That's what bothers me with a lot of it. Excuse me. That's exactly what bothers me.
How much is the dual entitlement version?
For NBA?
Yeah.
thought it was $100, but I could be wrong.
Is it $100?
Yeah, I thought it was $100, but I could be wrong. It wouldn't surprise.
Let me pre-order it at the PlayStation Store digital. I'll figure this out. $69.99. Yeah, so $70. $79.99. It's actually $80. But
so $80. Okay. So that would be spending $60 and spending $20. I'm okay with that. That I'm okay with. But what if you go to buy that cross-gen and then you still can't get a copy of the game? Or a console. You can't get a console. That's where I come into issues, and it's just I don't want to harp on this because we have a lot more to talk about. Right. Yeah. I think you're right. I think it does. I don't think that dual entitlement doesn't raise other issues, but I think it is an inelegant solution to a real problem, which is like people are not getting, like, people still don't have this console, and I want them to be able to play the game until, and COVID messed that stuff up a lot, right? Like, it's not like but at some point I have to stop blaming COVID, because I know that was an issue at the time, but I can't say it's an issue. I do think it is still an issue. I think COVID had a big enough effect that we're going to keep dealing with it until next year, especially with like chip shortages and hardware shipping stuff, because like those factories had to shut down, right? Yes. I do think that dual entitlement brings up new issues. I also think that like it is an inelegant but necessary solution to this other problem that really nobody had any plans for. So again, guys, before we transition to the next topic, which is the EA Sports announcement on July 20th, if you want to guarantee your question get asked throughout the show right away, or you want your statement read on air, leave us a super chat. No matter how big or how small, we will get to it. Guaranteed. Also, make sure you're leaving a thumbs up on this video. It helps let other people see it after it goes live, after we get off the air. Make sure you're subscribed to Sports Gamers Online. Check us out. We are simulcasting this show going forward on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. You can find us everywhere on those three platforms, Sports Gamers Online. So, EA Sports. We have their announcement coming up. They have their EA Play Live coming up July 22nd. But before that, they have the 19th. They're going to be doing the deep dive into the scouting update that's coming to Madden 22, which I can't wait for, guys. You guys are going to love it. There are going to be a lot of naysayers, but I can tell you right now, you guys are going to love it. Mwah. It's amazing. It's what a lot of us franchise mode fans have been wanting. Yeah, you guys are going to love it, especially for coming in. I don't know what he knows, but I have to trust that. It is a lot. It will be a lot like what NCAA 14 was, but better. That's all I'll say. On July 20th, EA has teased a big announcement for a long-running and popular EA Sports franchise. Now, first things first, one of the things they are planning to announce, I have been told multiple times, I've reported it on sportsgamersonline.com multiple times, during that week. I don't know if it will be on the 20th, but it will be around this time, because the NHL expansion draft is on the 21st. The NHL draft is later the next week. Free agency starts the next week. They will be announcing NHL 22. NHL 22 beta was spotted. The story is at sportsgamersonline.com if you want details on that. It has been spotted for PlayStation 4 and likely for PS5 and Xbox One and Xbox Series X. But it will be the announcement of the game transitioning to the Frostbite engine. This has been rumored for times. We've reported on it. We've heard that it's going to happen. Even EA employees have been caught posting on their LinkedIn that they are working on that migration and then being told, take that crap down because it's not supposed to be out there. So that is the thing that's happening. But there's also a lot of rumors about this franchise being brought back. A lot of these rumors are pointing to Fight Night. We have talked about it. Our good friend Brian Mazik from Forbes has talked about it ad nauseum. We have both heard about EA keeping a close eye on ESBC, and they are seeing the interest in it, but they want to keep a close eye and see how things are going. But the way they're getting these licenses done, it had them that motor running, and there could be an announcement soon. I don't know if that's for sure what it's going to be, but there are a lot of rumblings there. But it also might be a red herring Fight Night, I do think ultimately does come back. I don't know when, but I do think it's going to come back. We will get an update on EA Sports PGA Tour. The game will be out before the next edition of E3 and EA Play next year. So it only makes sense for either at the EA Sports Day or at EA Play Live itself, especially with the Open Championship going on this weekend. You follow that up with some more information on the game. It all, like, you put two and two together. I think we're going to get some stuff there. The EA Sports big revival is still in the works. NBA Live is not going to be announced. For everybody saying in the chat, it's not happening anytime soon. That seems between Sim Golf, my rants, and NBA Live, it's like these are the three constant: death, taxes, and whatever. Not Sim Golf, Mike's rants, and NBA Live. NBA Live, if it's announced, I'll buy somebody something. I don't know. It might be a can opener. I don't know. I'll buy somebody something. But, and you can clip that on YouTube. They have clips. So go ahead, clip your favorite part of this show, post it on social media, tag me in it, tag Jake in it, whatever, tag Sports Gamers on, do whatever on social media. But you can clip these shows now, which is awesome to hear. New feature added to YouTube. But I wouldn't be surprised to see an out of the blue announcement, like an NBA Street. I don't think it's going to be, but they are working on bringing back NBA Street. That I can guarantee you. They're working on bringing it back. They want to bring it back. And they also want to do something with the Super Mega Baseball franchise with the MLB license, but that's likely another year or so away. They're still working out the details on that. All part of this, like, EA Sports 2.0 revival. They have learned their lessons and they see the interest in these games, and they're going back to what it was in the mid 2000s. The next 5 years is going to be incredible for sports gaming fans. Whether you hate EA or not, you're going to get a lot more from EA, from 2K, from indie studios. You're going to get a lot more, and you should be excited about what's to come, whether you like EA or not again. But Jake, that's me talking a lot. What do you think? As someone with nothing, like, you have no inside info, what do you think you're going to see?
I do not have the connections.
From this took 10 years, and even then, I've almost burned some bridges because some people no longer at EA, but some people don't like me.
So I agree that I think we're finally going to see the official NHL announcement. I think that they announced Frostbite, and I think they announced platforms. So I think we get NHL on PC.
Be a puck mode.
Be a puck mode. What does he mean by that?
You just get slapped around.
I think I would, based on some of the conversations you and I have had on this very podcast, I would be very surprised if it's Fight Night, right? I feel like,
yeah, they want it, but I don't think they'd announce it right now. Who are you going to announce that you have? You have Anthony Joshua and you have Tyson Fury, but Canelo Alvarez is exclusive to ESBC. And some of the bigger stars are exclusive.
I mean, a lot of them are, right? Yeah.
Maybe we get our first announcement of some licensed golfers for PGA Tour. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the unexpected announcement.
No.
I do think we get EAB. I think we do get EA PGA Tour. Do you think we get? They're working on. Well, do we know that they're working on Super Mega Baseball 4? Do you think maybe we get a Super Mega Baseball announcement? I don't know if that's the weird one.
No, they're not going to announce Super Mega Baseball a year after. Super Mega Baseball will probably come, if we get a 4, will be next year, because they've done it every other year thing. And I expect that to stay the same with Super Mega Baseball. They are working on, EA really is excited about the potential of doing non-Super Mega Baseball games with that Super Mega engine. That engine is fantastic for gameplay. And that was a big thing that EA wanted. And everything I've been told is they and even the studio, Metalhead Software, was looking into branching and spinning off. And this EA deal will allow them to do that a lot easier, obviously, than spending their own money as an independent. I don't think, maybe we get something with that engine. Maybe we get maybe that's how they bring back NBA Street, which would be really weird. I hope not, but
it'd be quick turnaround, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think it's Fight Night. I think a lot of
Super Mega Hockey would be fantastic.
Super Mega Hockey would be fantastic. Super Mega Football would be fun too.
100%. Like that engine would be perfect for any game they want to do.
Yeah, I do. I think it's more likely that we get sports big and some sort
Sports
of
what? Sports what?
Sorry. I think it's more likely that we get EA Sports big than that we get Fight Night. But I mean, like, honestly, I'm ready to be surprised either way or not, I guess. Like, maybe their surprise announcement is just they're doing a baseball game, a normal baseball game. I don't know. What was EA's baseball game called?
MVP 2005 is still one of the best games ever, and I'll fight anybody who says it, who says otherwise. Though we have a lot of talking here. NCAA basketball, no. That game, so the Ed O'Bannon case kind of killed it, but that game never sold well to begin with. It was their least selling sports game during the 2000s, and it wasn't close. So I would be surprised to ever see that come back.
Yeah, I mean, the door's back open for NCAA basketball, right? But yeah, that seems like
EA will not announce NASCAR. NASCAR 21 moving to the Unreal Engine and using physics from R Factor 2. Guys, I'm hoping to get my hands on and get an interview with the team at Motorsports Games within the next few weeks. I've known about this for about a year now, and I'm so happy I can talk about it more as we go forward. It's tough, certain things, to keep your mouth shut. That was one of the toughest things for me to keep my mouth shut on because I'm such a big racing fan. Obviously, right. I review every racing game we have because that's just what I grew up with.
But yeah, I think it's more likely that it's something in the vein of NBA Street, and it's, if not literally EA Sports, big. I think that it will be like in the vein of that announcement. I think that's more likely at this point than Fight Night. So
yeah,
either one's cool though.
First Wave says Need for Speed Underground. I would love a remaster of Need for Speed Underground because Underground 2 is the last Need for Speed game I fell in love with.
That would be unexpected at EA Play. It's a Need for Speed game at all. So,
1G, you're telling me NCAA basketball sold more than Rugby 08? No, it sold less. Rugby, it was huge internationally. Huge. Def Jam, I don't think it'll be Def Jam. I don't know if they want to deal with the licenses. And there's not really, think about it. Back then with the Def Jam era, right? Some of the names that you were able to get, people are like, you were getting some big names. Okay, this is going to make me sound like these kids today, but you were getting Luda, you were getting DMX, you were getting Method Man, Redman. Like, you were getting all these names, and all of them you could differentiate. Right. I feel today you're not getting those types of things. Like you don't have like a Birdman Records, and then you got G Unit over here, and you got Wu-Tang over here, and you don't have that anymore. You just have mumble rapper over here and mumble rapper that sounds like that mumble rapper over here, and mumble TikTok, Twitter mumble.
So you say.
So I know.
Yeah,
and this is the pastiest ass white guy talking. But
right,
no,
I think that's my point.
No. You try and tell me that there's anyone today better than anybody from like the mid 2000s?
Yeah, but
I'll call you a liar.
It's not up to us. We're old.
I feel like a spry chicken.
I've booted up a list of EA Sports games, and I think
SSX would be awesome. I don't know if that'd be one, but that would be another.
SSX would be awesome. I think that would be out of left field. That'd be
out of left field, and that would get me the most excited I could possibly be, because SSX Tricky to this day is still a game that holds up well and is still so much fun to play.
I think SXX would be great. I think, what if they bring back the Cricket series?
Stop it. Riley's Adventures. I'm assuming this is about my rap rant with Def Jam.
But we got to talk about.
And I know I'm right. No, at this point,
it's a really divisive podcast. This one's not
at this point. People know we're going to talk about sports games, but. We talk about a lot. Like this is a very fun show. I feel like we have our fans, we have our regular listeners, and we have, just because they come for a damn good time. Like, that's just how it is. Def Jam needs to be left alone unless they remaster it.
I was going to say, I think that my last
I doubt would ever happen.
Well, but I think I agree with that. I think that's kind of I don't trust EA to get a Def Jam game right now.
The big thing is Def Jam. Here's the thing. Def Jam, for those that don't know, ran on the Aki engine, which was the engine used for the legendary WCW versus NWO Revenge game and WWF No Mercy. They don't have the rights to that engine anymore. So it'd be a whole new thing. So you're not going to get that fun gameplay. The team at AEW Games is using a version of that engine. So that's going to be fun. Patrick Levesque, first time watching. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope I'm making you laugh with my stupidity, because that's what I'm here for. Making a Def Jam game with today's rappers would be meme material. That's all it would be. That's all it would be. 100%. 100%. Did 2K College Hoops sell it all? No. It's sold, but they killed it a year earlier because it just wasn't there. Like the effort it took to develop for the 360 and especially the PS3. The PS3 was a pain for developers to build games for. So they had to cut it. They put their focus on NBA 2K, and look what happened when they did. The first few years after they only focused on one basketball game, NBA 2K just took off, and it put NBA Live out to pasture.
Right, yeah. That'll do it.
Jig also says it's his first time watching. Welcome. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We go live every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The show is available on demand right after. And at sportsgamersonline.com/podcast, you can find us wherever you find your favorite shows. Are we going to get an EA baseball game? Yes, eventually we will get some EA baseball games. I don't think there'll be simulation games, but who knows?
Right. Yeah. All right. I think it would be foolish for them to not put the MLB license over some of those super mega baseball games.
Oh, 100%. Now, do you have anything else on the EA Sports announcement on July 20th before we move on to NCAA? I'm going to take that as a no.
Are we opening this up to public comment? I feel like I'm at work now. I feel like I'm watching one of my videos now.
Yes. Do you have anything? And I hope to transcribe this. And the measure is passed. And
Commissioner Straw, I'd like to make a motion to move on to the next topic.
That would be NCAA football. Guys, we were supposed to get into this our last show, and we couldn't because the day of the show, we finally got news dropping on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday, and it was when the NCAA made the announcement of allowing NIL for players, and players are taking off with their licenses, and it's so good. But let's talk about what we were going to talk about that show, NCAA football retrospective. We know EA Sports College Football is coming back in 2023. We're actually at the probable launch date today, July 14th, 2023 is when I'd expect to see that game available. But it's not coming this year. It's obviously not coming next year. There are a lot of things that we want to see from that. And this is what we're going to be getting to. They are working on this game from the ground up. Okay. They're going to everything's going to be new, but I guarantee there's no way they're not looking at past games. So what from past games, Jake, are you hoping to see with the new installment of EA Sports College Football? Or maybe it's EA Sports NCAA Football again by the time that comes around. But for now, what are you looking to see?
You're going to love this because I'm pulling up the article I wrote. EA College.
While he's doing that again, guys, if you want to guarantee we answer your question on the show, leave us a super chat. We will get to as many as possible before we go off the air as far as questions, but super chats guarantee you getting your question answered on the air.
So something they did that I didn't understand.
This is Eric. This is normal. I've seen it go before the announcement of the series coming back. I'd seen them go for 100 on the 360.
I was going to say there was a big story. I forget who ran it, but it was at the beginning of last summer. So like right at the beginning of the pandemic NCAA 14 was going for like 100, averaging for like $100 to $120 online, because everybody was locked inside and remembered how good their last favorite NCAA football game was. So everybody was trying to shell out and buy it. Yeah.
And then I was trying to convince people to buy NCAA 13 because it was the same damn game and probably better in a few ways. And then I got hate.
So I was worried I didn't admit that I was too dumb to know this in the article, but I did. At some point, they took Create a School out of the NCAA football game and put it online, right? So they did what was it called? Team Builder, right?
Team Builder, yep.
So they switched, they migrated it. They took the actual Create a School stuff out of the game, but you could still do it and then upload your game. I was not playing the latest version of NCAA football. And so I was always late to the team builder party for whichever version I was playing. I want one team builder, Create a School, whatever you want to call it. I needed to come back, mostly because every sports game needs to let you build a team. Every sports game needs to let you make the ugliest uniforms you can, because you should. It's my right. I should be allowed to do that. So Build a School needs to be back. I would prefer if they put it on in the game. And then if they wanted to do like an app at this point or whatever, I think that's fine. But like me personally, I need it to be in the game. I need to be able to navigate and find it in the game, because what if I don't find it? I don't know.
Yeah,
because I was already too dumb to find it in the first place. I needed to just be right there on the game.
I'm 50-50 with you on that. I love the Team Builder online. But with how 2K has done it, if EA was smart, they'd look at how 2K has done their team creation suite, and they would mimic that as much as possible. You can do everything in the game, but if you want to upload custom logos, you just do that from your computer or the app.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. I think that could be the route you take, and then you do everything in the game, and that's fine. Especially now, consoles allow you, if you really want to get nitty-gritty with a mouse and keyboard, you can plug your mouse and keyboard into your console. There's adapters for that.
Yeah. Well,
you could do it. So yeah, I agree. At this point, they should be in the game. A lot of people are talking about like playoffs being brought back, which Sports Video Games Daily let us customize playoffs like 97. I would like that. One of the questions from Curtis Leon Douglas: do you guys think we'll have the new college football playoffs tournament or the new bowl? 100%. Everything will be as accurate as possible as far as scheduling goes in college football 24, which is likely what it'll be called. Guys, for thinking, there's no way, for those talking in the chat about it coming out next year, it's not happening. The license with the schools, with the CLC, we've reported on. It's on the website, sportsgamersonline.com. Kicks off starts July 1st, 2023. So you're not going to see a game anytime before that unless they go back and alter the contract, which very unlikely.
Yes, they literally can't use those likenesses before 2023. So we know that that's a hard date.
A remastered game also likely not happening. A backwards compatibility likely not happening. All because of the past litigation. I think that series is left in the past, and you aren't going to see it. If you have it, you can play it. But other than that, if you buy it used, but you're not going to get any remaster or any backwards compatibility with it.
Right. Yeah. This licensing thing now, which again is positive, but it makes bringing one of those older games back nearly impossible, because then how do you, now you have to talk to a bunch of people who mostly don't play football anymore. Like, how do you get their contact? How do you find all of them? How do you make sure that they're all being paid for their license, for their likeness? Because you can't just take the likeness out of a remaster. I guess you could, but I don't think they put that much effort in at this point. Do you think that they let you do like a bowl game creator? Have they ever done a bowl creator?
I don't believe so.
Or do you think that's too licensed for them to like,
I think it'd be cool.
Open that up.
I think it would be amazing. I think it would absolutely be incredible to see it, but I don't. we're at the point, like, nothing should be impossible for them to add with how this hardware is and where we're at. But I don't know. A bowl creator, they could get into some sticky situations because people, I don't know if you guys were ready for this conversation. A lot of gamers are racist scumbags.
Well,
if you look at
but
MLB The Show and what they get to upload, man, there's some bigoted racist content. Same with NHL. There's some racist teams, like, and racist player names. So adding that might be another tough thing because then you got the NCAA or you got the bowl series, bowl subdivision going, whoa. No. They're replacing our bowl in a game with the XYZ bowl here, and it's not. No. So you run into a lot of things. And I hate that I say that, but until you're proven otherwise, like, we've seen this all the time with the types of people. Like, there's a lot of bigoted, racist people because they have that anonymity. I can never say that word properly, and people will make fun of me for it. But the keyboard warriors, man, they're a scary bunch.
So El Blah asks, couldn't they just remaster NCAA 14 with generic teams and rosters? And yeah, they could.
I don't think they'd do it.
Right. That my thing is, like, at that point, they would be better off just focusing on the new one they're about to release rather than going back to that one.
Christian Phelps, thank you for the $5 super chat. Means a lot. That goes to that man, to my this side, whatever this side is. It's my left. It's probably right on the screen, I think. Updated Road to Glory with camps for high school transfer portal. Even see where you go in the NFL draft going. Dude, a transfer portal would be amazing.
Transfer portal would be really cool.
It's like, all right, you know what? My coach got fired because I came on as a freshman. We went 1-11. He got canned. I don't want a new coach comes in. Even if you don't have, I don't need the cut scenes or things like that, but a new coach comes in. It's like, hey, do you want to enter the transfer portal? And you're like, yeah. And then they just skip your sophomore season or whatever, if that's still a thing where you have to wait out a year or something. And then you go to your next school. Or you have, like, that. Oh my God. The idea of a transfer portal is one of the coolest things I can think of for a road to glory.
Players could transfer from your school in the earlier games, right?
Yes. In your dynasty. But in the career mode.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
He's saying, Christian's saying in the single player career.
Okay. Yes, you are. Yes, that would be great. Yeah, I agree. I would have been a little concerned previously. Like, something on this list of things that I want them to have is the atmosphere stuff, the crowd sound, pumping up the crowd.
We've had a few people talk about that. Even Chase wants the atmosphere that's huge. He wants to feel game day.
Yeah. But
if I'm at Alabama versus Texas A&M, I want it to feel like Alabama, Texas A&M, or Alabama, LSU. Not every game feel Alabama versus Georgia State.
Right. The last NCAA game I played, which we tried to figure out when we talked about this 2 weeks ago, I think it was 12. It was the one with Tim Tebow on it. That's how I remember. Had an evolving list of the 25 loudest places to play.
Like, that was also mentioned in the chat. That would be cool. Yeah.
Yes. Now I'm confident that stuff will be in a new EA game because that stuff's in a new Madden game. Like, they've got the groundwork for that home field advantage stuff now, which I'm actually kind of excited to see if that is any good in Madden 22. But, like, it's clear that they've got people working on that atmosphere stuff because that feels so much more integral to an EA Sports football game than it does to the NFL. So,
and DeAngelis Strozer, what about being able to play with FCS teams in Dynasty? They've had that in the past. I would like that to come back. I'd love to be able to bring, like, a North Dakota State. What I'd also like is midway through, like 8 years into your Dynasty, you find out, like, hey, North Dakota State's moving up to FBS. That'd be pretty awesome. I don't know why my eyes, I just looked at the camera here, the screen. My eyes, when I said that, like, bugged out of my head. Like, I went, give me FBS.
He's
like,
really excited about the idea. That's how
apparently, subconsciously. Justin Stevens, yes. Stone Cold Steve off.
Hey, he didn't say, put that away. He didn't super chat that.
I don't care. I'm in control, baby. It was NCAA 11. Everybody's saying was the one with Tebow on the cover. Just
thank
for
you.
Your information.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad everybody knows which one the Tim Tebow one is.
You mean Tom Tebow?
Tom Tebow, yeah, the generic running quarterback of the Florida Gators. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see. Here are two more things I have on this list that I still think they need to bring back: marching bands. And seriously, don't laugh. This has nothing to do with the fact that I was in a marching band. Mascot games have to come back. That was my second one. You didn't let me get to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was something different, and that's the one. Like, it's stupid, but I want it.
No. They got to do mascot games. Mascot games were fun. No, like they in Madden or in NCAA 10, they did like the mocap for specific schools. Not all the schools had these because
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Which is horse, but
donkeys.
But then they would have been using. Ironically, they would have been using my likeness if they did the marching 100. But
yeah, but Mr. Hoosier over here.
They did some of the bigger schools like actual halftime performances. And again, like talking about how important the atmosphere is to a game, like I think having the little stuff like that and then having like specific details in the like student sections of some of these schools really legitimately adds a lot to the game. Create a sign, somebody said in the chat, very dangerous. If we are going back to everything you said about the potential for bad bowl games,
Christian, if you have a list, send it to me. Christian, send it or post it in the SGO Discord, guys. Yeah, at the SGO Discord, if you want to continue these conversations, is a great way. You can join up. Everybody can join in. sportsgamersonline.com/Discord. It is going to be. It's a fun time. Like you can meet up with other fans. You can team up if you got a 2K league going, if you have a Warzone squad you want to get going, whatever you want to do, come in, hang out with us. And if you're an SGO insider, you get some exclusive channels where we post some information that can't be made public just yet. They were the first to know for the wrestling code that Kurt Angle was going to be one of the latest wrestler announcement. So there's some things. We got some AEW games news coming up in there as well. Natural makes me hungry most of the time. Yeah, I know, that. Dude. He's such a good cook. And if you know, like in the community, he's such a good cook. All right. We're going to finish up on NCAA football here before we get to our Q&A. It's going to be a very short Q&A this week. But to make up, because I kind of expected that, this weekend, we are doing a full Q&A. I don't know if it's just going to be me and the Natural or me, whoever wants to join from SGO. We'll be doing another Q&A likely Saturday afternoon. At youtube.com/sportsgamersonline, Facebook and Twitch/sportsgamersonline. If you have questions, send them to us on social media using the hashtag AskSGO or join our Discord and you can ask them there. And then we'll be taking super chat questions live, but we're going to be building up that list. So again, Q&A extended this weekend and we'll talk NHL, we'll talk Madden, we'll talk lacrosse, we'll talk baseball, we'll talk whatever you want to talk, and I'll give you as much information as I can.
For what it's worth, I'm imagining we'll have a lot more NHL 22 to talk about next week, since next week's show happens after EA Play does as well.
Yes, we will. I am working on it, but that July 20th, I'm working on doing a live stream during the EA Play EA Sports event. I will be doing a watch. I think we're going to do a watch along, and we're going to discuss it as it goes. We probably won't air what they're doing because EA can be weird with that. They usually aren't, but they can be. But we'll probably do something like this where we watch it with you guys and we talk about it and react to it live. So we're going to give that a shot. We've never done one, but we're going to, I think, on Tuesday. It's going to be a fun time at 1 p.m. Eastern. I believe it is.
Oh, next Tuesday. Yeah,
I'll let July 20th.
I'll let you know.
Okay, so questions. How is NCAA revamped allowed?
They don't sell it, right?
No, they don't sell it. That's the big thing. And EA has hired 3 people from that team to work on EA Sports College Football. So EA knows about it.
Right.
EA's okay with it. Yeah. And good on EA for that. On EA for that.
I think that Nintendo has kind of set a precedence for people to kind of think most game companies are not cool with especially elaborate mods, but I really think that that's just a Nintendo thing.
Nintendo
a lot of other companies are very like accepting of like those high scale mods and stuff like that. So I also don't think the NFL, and correct me on this because I've never run it, I don't think the NCAA revamped does player likenesses, right? It's just jerseys and logos.
Jerseys, logos, they do have rosters, but they don't do like full likenesses for them.
Okay, well.
But they can get away with it because it's fan created and it's not sold in any shape or form. Completely open source. Patrick Levesque, the Zamboni races. The old NHL 2K had Zamboni races and they were fantastic.
Cool.
What can we expect from hypermotion for FIFA 22? A lot of people are thinking this is a new engine. It's not a new engine. It's a build up on top of the Frostbite 4.
And I had pulled up another person earlier, Ray Senga had also asked what our thoughts on hypermotion was and could it come to Madden. So we might as well just loop these two together.
Madden is working on a hyper-realism hypermotion. I don't know if it's hypermotion, but it is a much more realistic fluid motion. FIFA, because it's the bigger international game, gets it here. And they're also different studios within EA building it. So I'm interested to see what happens. I think if it works out this way, I think you could see it come because they usually do share certain things. But like FIFA got Frostbite before Madden, so it would, I could see it coming there if it works next year.
Yeah, you got to figure if this hypermotion tech feels good and is noticeable in FIFA 22 and people really respond to it, then the other, sports games would want to try to run that as well, especially because it's, they're working with similar numbers with 11 versus 11, right? If anything, yes. I feel like it would be easier to use that tech on a football game because they're just moving less. But
Buckeyes Nation, I hope they had all FCS in Division 2 and 3. They probably won't, but as a Division 3 graduate, that's usually why I love Team Builder, because I can make Buff State Bengals and be good with that. Is hypermotion EA Sports gameplay engine? It's a addition to the engine. It's an addition to Frostbite. Frostbite is still the thing.
Yeah, a quote on Tech Radar from EA describes it as a cutting-edge proprietary machine learning algorithm, which would mean it's something that's being put into the Frostbite engine to analyze a player movement, I guess. I'm not smart enough at this stuff to know exactly what that is doing, but it's an addition. It's not a replacement of Frostbite.
Like I said, we got a very short Q&A. We got time for a couple more here. We will be doing a Q&A show this weekend at Sports Gamers Online. So if you didn't get your question answered, don't fret. Come back on Saturday or let us know on social media. Just use the hashtag AskSGO. Any questions we get asked there, we will get to. Obviously we have a bunch of duplicates, but we will be getting to questions about whatever you think or you want to know, as much as we can say. There was one about Ukes. VJC, I wish Ukes would make the UFC games again. Ukes is making the AEW game. So if you want a Ukes built game, get ready for AEW next year. Expected to be next year. Justin, where's the F1 trial on EA Play? They decided not to do it. I'm waiting to find out why not.
Got a question about Diamond Dynasty.
What do you think about MLB The Show's Diamond Dynasty? I think it puts Mutt to shame. The most recent content drop is crazy. They do it right for a collective card game mode. I'm not a fan of collective card games modes for $60 to $80 games or $100 games, but they do it the best, and they have done it the best for a long time.
Yeah, it seems a little less predatory than.
Yes, they don't just shove it in your face. Buy this. Hey, for this, and you can. It's a grind, but no different than an MMO to unlock all the cards. But you can unlock them. I equate the grind in MLB The Show to like grinding in like WoW or ArcAge or Elder Scrolls Online to try and level things up, or RuneScape. Right. So there's a grind to get there, but the grind isn't isn't the worst thing in the world. Curtis Leon Douglas, do you think NHL will ever add multi-team franchise mode? Maybe. I'm hoping Jam Connected comes back in the coming years, but it wasn't a popular mode. But I'm on the camp, it wasn't a popular mode because it never worked. Can't be a popular mode when no one can play it because it never works. Ray Magnoni, what's up with NHL Stanley Cup coming, gone, and no news next week? Guys, next week you will have a lot more news. And if the show happens before the news breaks, the night of the news or the day of the news, I will go live with as much as I can give you from behind the scenes. So as soon as NHL news knows and I'm allowed to drop what I have, I will let you know. There is a beta was spotted for NHL 22. The story is at sportsgamersonline.com. There was a beta spotted for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It's expected to come for Xbox One and Series X. So we do have that. EA hasn't yet responded to comment on the beta news, but it has been spotted by various Twitter accounts. Any news on Casey Powell, the game? They still haven't gotten back to me, Brandon. As soon as they do, you'll see a story on SGO.
I forgot. I can't believe we almost forgot about the Casey Powell watch. What if that's...
Shut up.
What if...
No.
Man, I hope so, though. I mean, a NetCon's got to drop that this year, right? They bought that. It's a NetCon joint, right? It's got to.
I don't know if they ever actually
I think that
purchased.
They do.
I don't know if they went into like an agreement or memorandum, a MOM or a MOU. But now,
I want to say that the company that used to make Casey Powell lacrosse was
Cross Studios.
Studios, yes.
I don't know if they were bought.
And
while you're looking that up, will this be the best generation of sports gaming since PS3, Xbox 360? Yes. It just started, but I can undoubtedly say yes. All right, we got time for one more question.
You answer this question while I do research.
Fight Night news. This doesn't count as the last question. We talked about it earlier in the show during the EA announcement segment. You'll be able to check that on demand. Hypermotion sounds like Skynet. Do we have anything that we haven't answered?
Cross Studios published Casey Powell lacrosse.
Yes.
One of the developers, Big Ant Studio, which is NASCAR.
Yes.
So yeah. So in theory, Nakon has the rights and the game and the engine to a Casey Powell lacrosse.
I feel like we would have gotten an announcement on it when Nikon had their big event last week or a couple weeks ago, though. Will you stream FIFA Career Mode, Create a Team? The Create a Team. Actually, I want to touch on this. This is going to be the last thing we talk about. They're bringing back a feature that should have never left in the first place, but I'm excited about it anyway. Like that's just how it is. Will I stream EA Play? That's not EA Play Live, but the EA Sports Day. I think we are going to try and do a watch along. F1 2021. Go check out my review at sportsgamersonline.com. I'm going to plug that because that's a review. I wrote it. You should read it. 10 out of 10 game. It's fun with a controller. It's fun with the wheel. However you want to play it. Go read out why it's a 10 out of 10 game and why it's likely to be, for like the fourth year in a row, my game of the year. Because there's no studio like Codemasters that does it better. There's absolutely none. If every studio could be like Codemasters, the gaming industry would be a much better place. But that is where we're going to end this week's show. Jake, say goodbye to the people. You take it out this time.
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know the outro as much as I know the intro. Thank you for tuning into the SGO Press Pass. I'm your host, Jake Jacobson, joined by Mike Straw. Mike, where can they find you on the old internet?
I believe it's everywhere. Mike Straw Media. That's just where I'm at, and that's where I'll be forever.
And you can find me at TH3 composer. We will be back next week, next Wednesday, and every Wednesday, as long as my appendix doesn't burst, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe we've got something cooking up pre-show for SGO Insiders. So if that's something that interests you, consider checking out SGO Insiders at patreon.com/sportsgamersonline. What else do you say?
Be sure to like, subscribe at Sports Gamers Online on YouTube so you can help us grow the network. Share these videos. Join our Discord, sportsgamersonline/Discord. Follow us, subscribe to us on our podcast, sportsgamersonline.com/podcast. Until next time, we're out.